Shoot to kill? You're asking the wrong question. I came across an interesting question recently on one of our firearms law discussions with attorney Francois de Kock. The question was this: if I'm forced to shoot an attacker in lawful private defense, is it legally better to shoot him in the head to stop the threat, or should I shoot him in the leg to use the minimum force necessary? Please note that I am not an attorney, so this is not legal advice. If you want legal advice, then speak to a qualified attorney. However, I do think this question is worth discussing because it reveals a misunderstanding that's incredibly common among South Africans in general, and that includes the firearms community. Just shoot him in the leg. Never shoot to kill. If you are going to shoot, make sure it's a headshot. Only shoot to wound. You've all heard statements like this. These statements get repeated so often that they start sounding like wisdom. The problem is that they are usually oversimplifying a very complicated reality. What's interesting is that when people ask these questions, they're often focused on the wrong part of the problem. They're focused on where the bullet should go, when the more important question is, why are you using force in the first place? The law doesn't hand out points based on where a bullet lands on an attacker's body. Well, I mean, unless it lands in his back, in which case you are going to have some very tough questions to answer. The law doesn't work on a simple scale where a leg shot is automatically legal and a headshot is automatically illegal. If you've ever done any meaningful training under pressure, odds are you know this already. One of the biggest eye-openers for many people is discovering just how different things feel once stress is induced into the equation. Standing on a square range on a calm Saturday morning, that's one thing. That's great. But having to solve problems under pressure, including time pressure, is something completely different. Your heart rate, it just spikes out of control. Your attention narrows. Fine motor skills become less reliable. You're making mistakes that you would never make in a relaxed environment. And that is only in training. That's with range officers present and in a controlled environment. That's with the knowledge that nobody is really trying to hurt you. Now imagine introducing genuine fear and uncertainty and danger into this equation. Suddenly the idea that somebody is calmly going to assess that situation, choose a specific body part like a leg, and execute a perfect precision shot starts sounding a lot more like a movie script than real life. There is another reality that training tends to expose very quickly. Every round you fire has to go somewhere. That's very easy to forget when we are discussing hypothetical situations. But in the real world, every projectile that leaves the muzzle of your gun remains your responsibility. Not only the rounds that hit, including the rounds that may miss. That is important because the targets people talk about shooting, arms, legs, head, are relatively small. Now add movement. I mean, that attacker may be moving. You may be moving. The distance may be changing. Poor lighting, stress, and more stress. Suddenly, those targets aren't nearly as easy to hit as they seem during the conversation on social media or even around the braai. That's a very valuable lesson that realistic training teaches very quickly. Violence is chaos. People move, problems develop unexpectedly, plans just fall apart, and outcomes are really as neat and predictable as they are in our imagination. Which is why I think that phrases like just shoot him in the leg can be misleading. They are built on the assumption that you can guarantee a specific outcome in a situation that's inherently unpredictable. That's a very dangerous assumption. And that brings us back to the original question, headshot or leg shot? I would argue that's the wrong question. The more important question is, what am I trying to achieve? Because in a lawful self-defense situation, the objective is not punishment or revenge. It's not killing for the sake of killing. The objective is to stop an unlawful threat. That is the principle. Once you understand that principle, You stop obsessing over slogans and you start thinking about circumstances. You stop looking for simple rules. You stop looking for magic answers. You start focusing on judgment and decision making and context. In many ways, this is why training really matters. Not because training gives us all the answers, not because training guarantees success, but because training has a habit of exposing our assumptions. People arrive at a course with very clear ideas about what they think they'll do. Then the pressure starts. Timer goes off. Decisions need to be made. Problems need to be solved. And suddenly they discover that reality is a lot less predictable than they imagined. That's not failure. That's real value. It's far better to learn those lessons on a training range than during a real life encounter. And perhaps that's the biggest takeaway from this discussion. Be careful of simple answers to complex problems. The next time somebody says, just shoot him in the leg or always shoot to kill, ask yourself whether they are explaining a principle or simply repeating an emotive slogan, because those are not the same thing. And when it comes to something as serious as self-defense, then understanding the principles behind your decisions is usually far more valuable than memorizing catchphrases. Food for thought. Stay safe, stay aware, stay ready.